Good morning, everybody. My name is Benjamin Wakanma, and I've been asked by GeoVisions to make this video, and I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible. And I'm gonna read some questions that I was asked to respond to. The first question is: Our motto is experiences are more important than landmarks. In a couple of sentences, share an experience that you've had on your program or weekend adventure and on your own that stands out to you. An experience that I thought stood out to me the most was for my birthday when I was in Germany. Coincidentally, my host family, the lady, she had her birthday on April 11th and mine was April 10th. So she was really excited when she found out our birthdays were around the same time, and she bought me her husband bought me a surprise ticket to Cannes, France, and we went together. We spent 4 days in Cannes together. It was the most beautiful and most memorable birthday of my life. I turned 25 and she turned 50, and there's absolutely nothing that can make me forget this experience. So, yeah. The second question is: which of the five senses do you value the most while traveling? I value every single five senses, really. I value sight. Obviously, you have to be able to see what's in front of you and appreciate it. I value my smell, I value my touch, I value my hearing because sometimes you need to be able to hear the languages, the culture. You want to be able to immerse yourself in it. So I don't think there's any senses per se that's bigger than the others. But if I had to vote for one sense that I value the most, it would be my sight because you need your eyes to be able to see everything and take it all in. Um, Number three, how did your time abroad influence your long term goals? It absolutely did influence my long term goals. Currently, I'm working in my master's in healthcare, and at this point in my life, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I mean, I had an idea what I wanted to do with healthcare, but after my travels in Europe and communicating with a lot of people, networking with a lot of wonderful souls, I thought I want to continue a path where I have to interact with people in a positive way, in a way to help them. Because I feel like there are a lot of people in this world that need help, one way or the other. Not necessarily financial, but mentally, emotionally, some type of support because we're all in this together. And I feel like that part of me has always been in me for a while, but just being in Europe and interacting with so many people, I feel like I want to be able to give back to the community a little bit more because a lot of people out there need it. Number four, have your career goals um, shifted since you have returned from your GeoVisions program? Just like I said before, um, yes, in a way, but I want to be able to do more, to be able to give back to the community, to be able to give more to people, give back more to people because I feel like a lot of people definitely need that. So I want to be able to have a career. Right now, my career path is in healthcare, but I still want to be able to have a career in. I want to be in a position where I can give back to people because I believe that the world definitely needs that kind of attitude to grow. Number five, describe the most interesting person that you met on one of your travels. I'd say I know this sounds like a cliche. I'd say the most interesting person I've met is me because that's one of the things I appreciate about traveling. Because traveling, I always say traveling teaches me about myself and teaches me about the world and teaches me about the people in the world. So traveling this program specifically has been some type of therapy for me, and I've had the opportunity to learn so much about myself that I didn't even know existed. So I'd say the most interesting person I've met is myself. I've learned things about myself that I would never have possibly known if I had sat back home in the U.S. and interacting with people on a daily basis and having encounters that I would never typically have back home has taught me things about myself that I didn't even know I had. Um, Number six, what is your favorite travel quote or mantra? I wouldn't say it's my travel quote per se, but there's this thing I've started as of a few months ago. It's called growth in body, mind, and soul. So I want to be able to be a better person, influence others around me to be a better person, to grow in body, physically, mind, intellectually, and soul, spiritually. I believe that encompasses for a holistic type of growth. Number 7. What is your biggest aha moment or learning lesson while you're in your program? I had a lot of aha moments. That's part of that's evidence that you're growing, I suppose. But my last night before I flew out from Germany back to the U.S., I met this British girl, and I had never. It's really rare to meet people like that. She was very intellectually equipped. She was visiting from London, and she was doing a research program in Germany, and she had previously lived in New York for 6 years, where she went to school. And I learned so much about her and about myself and about the world just by interacting with her. It was money could never have bought that moment that I shared with her. I thought I knew a lot of things, but she opened my mind and helped me and helped shed light in things that I didn't even know was possible. Um, Number 8, did you ever get lost while traveling? If so, tell us about it. Yes, I absolutely did get lost. When I first got to Germany, I thought I could survive without a phone service. So what I did was I was driving and I didn't have Wi-Fi. So I had put on GPS on Wi-Fi when I was back home. I was going somewhere and I got lost. My GPS got disconnected. So I didn't have a phone that was working, and I was driving stuck in the freeway, and there was a lot of traffic that day. My host family was waiting on me to come back home for dinner. So I was completely lost. I had to pull off, exit the freeway, and there was a hostel somewhere there, and the guy in the hostel was nice enough to let me borrow the Wi-Fi. How I was able to get back on track. And then after that, I had to obviously get a phone to prevent that from happening again. Number 9, what is your biggest piece of advice for anyone looking to travel abroad solo? If you're looking to travel with solo or not, do it. If you have the opportunities and the means, do it. I think it's a bliss. I think it's a blessing. I think it's something that you can never buy anywhere. The experiences, go for it. Be open minded. Don't be afraid to travel alone. I've done it many times, and many times I've traveled alone. I never felt lonely. One way I've been able to overcome this is by staying in hostels. You have hostels, you have couchsurfing.com. Some people prefer Airbnb. Couchsurfing, couchsurfing basically you stay with the local, and local hosts you, they house you, they feed you, but it's basically free. And Airbnb is the same thing as couchsurfing, but you have to pay a minimum amount of a fee. Hostels could be expensive. They could be cheaper depending on location and basically how much the hostels are worth. But I also like hostels because in hostels you're able to meet solo travelers just like you all around the world. It's perfect for reporting and network. And depending on how outgoing you are, upon arrival, the very first day you may meet your best friend right there. That's one thing I like about hostel. I've been traveling with hostels for many years, and I'm still in contact with a lot of the people I've met in hostels, the good people I've met in hostels. So don't be afraid to travel solo at all. There are a lot of researches. Do some research. There's a lot of outlets out there for solo travelers. Go on Google, research it, ask questions, network. If you don't know anything, ask questions. And one thing about me is that I never really had the luxury of having people expose me to these things. So I've always had a go-getter mentality. I'm always there asking questions, researching, trying to find out information for myself. So don't be afraid at all. And lastly, what are your plans now that you're back home? Any great adventures you'll be embarking on? Um, Absolutely. Actually, I would not stop traveling at all. It's impossible for me to stop traveling because traveling it's a blessing. It's a bliss. It helps you learn about yourself, and I'm still absolutely learning about myself and the world that we live in. I'm actually currently in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm touring Nigeria. I was supposed to also tour South Africa and Egypt, but I had to cancel those trips because I was really sick. But my plan is to do come back to Africa eventually and continue to Asia and South America. I want to be able to see all 7 continents, including Antarctica, someday. But by God's grace, those things will happen. But definitely, I am absolutely looking forward to more travel adventures and more travel opportunities. And I want to specifically and especially thank GeoVisions for the wonderful opportunity that I've been given to experience Europe, experience Germany, and I will never forget it. And thank you very much.